stay on the story, illegal activity by construction mafias not only holds back key developments in the country, they also have a direct impact on service delivery. And like many things in the country, it's the poor that feel it worst. Let's unpack the damage this is doing to our economy with Danny Masimene from the Black Business Council in the built environment, who joins me now in studio. A very good evening and welcome to Today on a Monday, sir. There are concerns, obviously, and these concerns have been about the invasions. What can you share with us this evening?
Thank you very much. I think first let me send my sincere greetings this afternoon to the viewers and also to the members of the BBCBE and the industry practitioners at large. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right.
I think from ourselves as Black Business Council in the built environment, will always be against lawlessness. And therefore we reject its many manifestations. The issue of the site invasions, it is a challenge to the built environment. It is a challenge to the stakeholders and partners in the built industry. It is a challenge to government. It is a challenge to the country. And why I'm saying that, because the President of the Republic, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, in his SONA, he did indicate that there will be establishment of the SAPS special unit to deal with the so-called construction mafia and the site invasions. And secondly, on the base that this challenge is steadily overlapping into other industries. It's no longer limited to the construction industry. It has overlapped to the mining industry. I've just seen now that it is also affecting the logistics, the transport industry. So it is a challenge that requires, it requires all of us, in the country, to put our heads together, to try and find a solution. However, most of us, we still have to see the special unit in action, the one that the President introduced or announced in his SONA. And with the challenge that we are having, we should be seeing, whether it's the boots, whether it's the caps, we should be seeing more boots on the ground, to deal with the challenge. And then based on that, as BBCBE, we can arrive at a conclusion that the law enforcement, they are failing to nip this challenge in the bud. And what we are seeing is that we really need to see law enforcement, a special unit, to deal with that. Currently, ourselves as one of the stakeholders in the industry, we don't have a manual. By a manual, for example, if one of our sites it is affected, we don't know what to do. We don't know where to start.
Let's talk about that. I mean, I imagine when you arrive on site and you see vandalism, you see, a construction site being heavily compromised, I imagine you'd want to meet with the perpetrators, or you'd want some form of answer. Have you set up a meeting with the construction mafias? Have you met with them? Do you know who they are? What can you tell us?
Thank you for the question. I think as BBCBE, we did meet, and I don't want to use the word construction mafia.
Okay.
But I'll rather use the BBF, mostly based in KZN. And the reason why I'm saying I don't want to use that word, because in our engagement, they did indicate that they have transformed. However, other events that are still happening, they cannot be associated to them, and that is why I'm saying that I don't want to refer to them as the mafias. But I I think based on that, we're faced with a situation where, we're not dealing with the elephant in the room, And why I'm saying that is because for you to be able to know the solution to the challenge, you need to know what is the root cause, And where we're sitting is that whether we like it or not, whether, it is criminal elements or not, but this thing was created by the slow transformation or the transformation which is moving at a snail pace, in the construction industry. And I think the 2017 procurement regulations, as BBCBE, we have lobbied, we're one of the advocates that all construction projects over 30 million, they need to be subjected to 30% subcontracting, And I think those who send the message to various communities, the message was distorted, and we came up with that mainly to try and address, the issue of transformation in the industry, because as a country, we cannot only rely on the few, established companies. And as I'm speaking, some of them, they are no longer there. And that proves to us that we're right to say that let's transform the industry. Let those who are at the lower level be assisted, for an upward mobility in terms of the CIDB grading.
And we did hear the Minister of Infrastructure earlier on, Sihle Zikalala, just alluding to that fact, what you've just elaborated now, and also the equation of having to at least allowing 30% of that tender to go to businesses within the local community. And obviously the local community themselves as enterprises would have to be set up to explore those opportunities. Are you citing the lack of transformation as the root cause, perhaps, of the situation you as the council are now inside of?
One of the causes. One of the causes. And the very same 30% of projects over 30 million, they are also on a threat, because currently as we speak, the draft of the Procurement Bill, is very silent on the issue of the 30%, which means that, the good work that we have done, the milestone that we have achieved, they will be reversed, unless we try to address the issue of the Procurement Bill, where we've indicated that the Procurement Bill will assist in making sure that we streamline procurement in the infrastructure. Because for surely, when you procure a building, a road, a bridge, you cannot equate that to, the same way you are procuring pencils, you are procuring catering and all that. So what we are saying is that we need to be, and it cannot only be government. It requires all of us. Even the private companies, they need to start, not be rhetoric, because what you say and what you do, those are two different things.
In fact, let's talk about that very quickly before we run out of time in 30 seconds. What do you propose then needs to happen in as far as the bill is concerned? Are there any loopholes that you've identified? If so, what are they? 30 seconds.
The loopholes within the Procurement Bill, the first one is that there was a chapter that deals with the infrastructure procurement, and in the draft we've been paging through, we could not find that chapter. So that chapter needs to be taken back to the Procurement Bill to try and address some of these challenges. Secondly, as BBCBE, is that we have an upcoming built environment in Daba in October, and we are going to use that platform to invite everyone, government, all the stakeholders, and the issue of site invasion will be one of the challenges where we have to come together, find solutions, and permanent solutions, not temporary solutions. And once we have done that, we'll have the champion, we'll have the resolutions that are deliverables with clear timelines.
Right.
It's not going to be rhetoric. It is something that When we move out of the Indaba, we'll have clear answers of what will happen to the likes of the site invasions.
Thank you so much for your time, Denny Masimene, who speaks for and represents the Black Business Council in the built environment. Timelines are a huge thing, and of course the loopholes within the Procurement Bill needs to be looked at with more scrutiny, he says this evening on Today. We're going to take a quick